GTii is flashing some bullish signals, but we actually have to go over a few of those as there could be a little bit of a downside based on raw price action. Let's go over those details now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this happy Monday. This is ARCa coming at you with a GTii technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so we are looking at GTii in the hourly time frame. We're going to start off the immediate short-term time frame analysis with the ARC-Series Crypstex indicators. Okay, so in this particular indicator, we are looking at ARC Armor. It is comprised of several exponential moving averages, which actually allow us to see a wave of motion or directional waves in order for us to get an understanding as to where price action can go. In printing those waves, we can actually see that we get some short and long signals or sell and buy. Okay, so we have a short signal here, it goes down. We have a long signal here and it goes up, particularly to what's happening right now. The long signal printed on December 15th. December 15th, early in the session, we actually still have a long signal and is still honoring it. And as you can see, some of those green waves are actually starting to print. All right, so now on particular to the enhanced MACD, this is the ARC enhanced MACD. We have printed a fresh bullish signal, and it is suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. Please know that I'm looking at this in the immediate short-term time frame as well, okay? We can actually verify one more of those ARC-Series indicators. We can actually load up DBSI. Now, DBSI is absolutely an interesting indicator as that it takes a statistical average of every single candle printed throughout the entire trading history of GTii, particularly to the hour chart in this instance, and it gives us a score between the bulls and the bears, conveniently located right up here on the top right of your screen. You can actually see that the bulls are in absolute control with 91% and bears at 9%. Okay, so the hourly time frame is looking very good. Also, DBSI is definitely able to give us buy signals as well. So you can actually see that this blue signal printed right at, let's see, on today in the early session, we did get a buy signal here and it has since moved to the upside. Okay, so this is a very good thing for GTii thus far. These indicators are available to you. Just make sure to send me a DM and I'll go ahead and go over the details as to how to acquire these indicators, okay? But please know that upon purchasing a subscription through TradingView, it does not give you access into the Crypstex indicators, as the authors are authorized retailers within the TradingView platform, okay? So please know that you should not expect these indicators to be available just because you have an account with TradingView, which, by the way, would actually help me out a lot. You can find the link in the description below for the affiliate link in TradingView. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. So this is what I meant at the introduction of this video, is that we do have some bullish activity happening, but usually when we do get a print of an 8-hour candle that looks like this is called a shooting star doji. Shooting star dojis do present a bearish outlook, okay, and could give us a warning for downside continuation. Aside from that, we are having all these long wicks to the upside. This is usually giving the sense to where the bulls are actually losing a little bit of strength, okay, but this is not a sole validator. We actually can continue into seeing what other types of supports we have. For example, let's load up the SMAs and take a look. Let's see. Okay, so right below us, we do have, let's see, which could be located at about 57 cents. We do have a support range right at the 10-day simple moving average. Okay, so if we were to go down, we can actually see this as a relevant form of support before continuing on to the upside. Another thing we can do is actually we can take a Fibonacci from the swing high of the 8-hour candle, particular to December 14th, to the swing low of it. Okay, so we can actually do this. And let's go ahead and take it right to there, so you can actually see that the price action from today went right up to the 4-spot 618 before finding a rejection. The 618 ratios are very special since they are the golden mean, okay, and price action usually likes to end up there through the sentiment or the psychology behind the trading. It's pretty typical to go there, okay? So now we have retraced, and we can actually see that this support of the SMA 10 is landing right at the 250 fib. And another thing that we do have right below it is actually the one spot 618 at 55.59. Okay, so now what this tells us is that we do have a support range. Okay, so we can make a little box from the let's see, from the one spot 618 to the two spot 618, which is actually where we are currently finding some support at the current moment, at the present moment. Okay, so this could be a likely area to find a bounce from. Okay, if we were to go to the downside, that's just, I'm just saying that sometimes price action likes to actually come and catch up with its moving averages before continuing on to the upside. The great thing is that let's see. The great thing is that with this. With the ending of today's 8-hour candle, we have finally printed one candle closure above the SMA 10, which is usually a very bullish thing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. So I wanted to go ahead and touch on the statistical side of the analysis, not too much in particular to the 3,000% move to the upside, as you all already know that I'm looking at, but more so in the perspective of momentum versus volatility. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and load up buy pane here and make the volatility indicator large, and we'll also make the momentum indicator large right down here. Okay, so yes, what we're looking for are essentially found in these red lines. We actually do want the expansion to start for the momentum, and we do want contraction to start from volatility. Okay, so for the new viewers, you're looking at, this is volatility you're looking at, represented by this indicator BBWP. Now, BBWP, or volatility, is direction neutral. We pair it with an indicator similar to this one here, which is proprietary to TradingView software, and it is available to you as long as you create an account with them. And this is giving us that bias for direction, since this is neutral. So momentum gives us that bias, and we use it in we use it in conjunction with the volatility movement. Okay, so the reason why I'm pointing this out is because if we zoom in very closely, we can actually now start seeing what we didn't see in the prior video. We can actually see a penetration below this trend line here, which I have marked as per previous lows. And I just want to see how we're moving in conjunction to it. Okay, so now the pivot has actually started. We do need a potential continuation slightly to the downside before actually finding those pivots and making that corrective move to the upside. Okay, so we do need that. We absolutely need that from momentum in order for us to apply that huge 3,000% metric to the upside. Another thing that we do absolutely need is from the BBWP in particular, we need the the volatility component, which is this spectrum line, and the moving average, both within the 90 percentile. Okay, so usually when we're at 90%, which is this red trend line that my cursor is over, and when we're at it or within the 90 percentile usually means that it's a critical volatility and something is loading. Okay, potential upside move could be in the horizon. Okay, particularly since we're actually a very oversold percentile within the stochastic momentum. It's very similar to an RSI, so we actually could use jargon like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the last part of the analysis, and this is the 12-hour time frame. Okay, so we're going to look at the divergence chart. So this divergence is usually the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case momentum represented by RSI, relative strength index. I almost couldn't pronounce that. Okay, so we did notice a few videos ago that we noticed 1, 2, 3 drives of regular bullish divergence, which is usually when price action is making a series of lower lows and the momentum is actually making a series of higher lows. So in this case, yes, we did catch a few drives that are bullish and are currently at play. Okay, so this is definitely looking good for GTii thus far. Let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane so that we can gauge a deeper edge for maybe tomorrow's session or the following session. Okay, so let's go ahead and just make this a little larger, and we'll go ahead and minimize this a little bit so that we can maximize our visibility. So now we're going to start with a 30-minute immediate short term. Okay, so for the new viewers, please refer to this diagram that I've made here for you. These are the properties of my RSI, and it has 4 zones of which I would like for you to focus in on. These 4 zones are actually located right over here on the RSI. They're just blown up for your convenience. Okay, so 30-minute immediate short term is suggesting pretty much a neutral bias for direction. Let me just get rid of my Discord here. Sorry, guys. Okay. So yes, it's suggesting a neutral direction here. The bearish thing about this is a couple things. So new listeners, the 14-day moving average is this pink line, and the RSI signal itself is the purple line, okay? As long as the signal is below the moving average, things are a little bearish, okay? There are certain conditions to where we can make this a bullish outlook, like for example, this right here, since the pivot is actually starting to pivot towards the upside on the daily RSI and the moving average is still above us, this can actually present a potential continuation to the upside, and using this as a potential resistance or not, we can actually just surpass it. I'm just saying that it is conditional, okay? But in this case, it is very much in the shallow areas of the bull weakness percentile, which usually means a gravitational pull into the opposing zone is likely, okay? So now the bi-hourly is still suggesting some sense of neutral, okay? The pivot is very slightly to the upside here. The moving average is below us, which is very good, and the moving average is also showing us a slight upside curvature here. Now, as we approach the very shallow areas of the bear weakness percentile, a jump or a gravitational pull right into the bull weakness percentile is likely, okay? So now let's look at the 6-hour RSI as it has now jumped into bear strength percentile, okay? But while we sit within this shallow area, we can actually assume sideways trading and or a rejection from one zone to the prior zone, as you saw right here. It actually broke into the bear strength, it actually rejected, came back to the prior zone, that it rejected since it's in the shallow zone, and it goes right back in. So this can potentially be like a sideways trading type of iteration here. Okay, it's not. I'm not saying that everything is reliant upon the 6-hour RSI. I'm just saying that it is a potential. Okay, so now the daily is like we were saying earlier. It is pivoted slightly to the upside. Now the good thing is that we have reached the shallow areas of the bear weakness percentile. I'm sorry, the bear strength percentile, and that usually means a gravitational pull into the following zone is likely. Now let's just take that. I'm sorry, that was a 3-day time frame. My apologies. Let's look at the bi-daily. Bi-daily suggesting some neutral trading, so sideways as well, and also look at that. The daily is also suggesting that sideways trading as well. The only thing bullish here is that we are now above the moving average and we're approaching the shallow areas of the oversold percentile. So in this case, as long as we are remaining within that shallow area, a gravitational pull into that prior zone or the following zone is likely. Okay, so yeah, I am definitely looking at some loading for GTii still, potentially some short-term downside, which is very much in accordance to what we're talking about here. Okay, so this is why we connect the puzzles little by little, the puzzle pieces. Little by little, okay? So, yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCa trading community as well. Okay, please know that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment only, okay? I need you to do your own DD and everything will be just fine, guys, okay? So please, yeah, reach out to me if you have those questions. If, let's see, I think that's just about it. So I wish you well. I wish you a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.